get it started tonight.
I think Wake would like to take that Angel team and throw him out the window this year. Two starts against the Angels. You take it away, he's having a great year.
They've been his only nemesis on the season. As his first pitch misses outside, ball one, we're underway. Well, Marco Scudero, who is a guy that has been signed on to a couple of different teams to be a utility guy, always seems that he's in the lineup every day whenever he joins a team. Used to be guys like Bobby Crosby or Mark Ellis would go down in Oakland. He'd end up in the lineup every day. Well, here he's just playing great for the Blue Jays, and they got him at the top of their order now.
Well, he's opened a lot of eyes, especially with this year. We're talking about leading the league in runs and on base percentage over 400. This guy played in Oakland for about 4 years, so he knows something about on base, playing out there.
This entire Toronto team is hitting well, and he's one of those guys. Mentioned as part of our open that this team is hitting at .308 on the road and away from the Rogers Center. So it's not just at home. They're getting it done on the road, too.
You see the guy on deck right there. There's a lot to do with this season.
This has truly been a breakout year for him and a great year for both those men. And I say both of them because I think they're equally the reason that this Toronto Blue Jays team is much better. You got Cito Gaston on the right. You got Gene Tennis, his hitting coach, on the left. They changed the entire approach of this offense, and they're much more aggressive now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't see it right here, but with a knuckleballer, you got to be patient. But for the most part, they came when he got the job. Gene Tennis came over here and said, "Let's swing the bat."
Right.
Which is just opposite of the philosophy about good pitch.
Marco Scudero strikes out Tim Wakefield with a nice start to the night.
Count runs to 3-2. Fastball right by you. Amazing how he gets away with that fastball.
One down for Tim Wakefield. Aaron Hill, the batter. This has been an incredible start to the season for Hill. The numbers at .345 to begin the night for Hill. 11 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Ball two, and it's 2-0. Where are the Blue Jays as far as their rankings go? Average. They're second. Hits first, runs first, home runs third. Never have guessed that to begin the year. The strike grabs the outside corner, and it's 2-1.
Well, they missed this guy, Aaron Hill, last year. He was out. He didn't have, 200 at bats last year, but you look back a couple of seasons ago, he was one of the best second basemen in the game.
And the strike, and it's 2-2. It's been a fabulous start for Hill. He's a guy that normally would hit near the bottom of this lineup. This year, right up near the top. But back to Gene Tennis for a moment. You're absolutely right. I mean, the way they used to do things, very similar to the Oakland Athletics way as far as on-base percentage and patient at bats. And they kind of threw that out the window when this group took over. These two guys right there.
It just wasn't working.
No.
It just was not working. And you see what's happened since they've taken over. The best in the business, really. I mean, nobody's got a better record since he took over. And Gene Tennis, I don't know their connection for the most part. Was he with him a long time ago with the
Yes,
Toronto?
He was originally with Toronto back when they were winning championships, 92, 93. He was part of the coaching staff then. So one of the first things Cito did was bring back Gene Tennis. Pedroia right side, throws out Aaron Hill, and there's two down. We'd like to welcome our friends who are watching this Red Sox Blue Jays series on TSN2 across Canada. All of us here at Red Sox and Nesson are happy to have you aboard for this series from Fenway Park. The key matchup is brought to you by Acura. Alex Rios against Tim Wakefield, a .231 hitter. Does have 3 home runs.
You wonder why one guy's more successful than another. I don't think it's one thing. I think you got to get lucky. I really do. You heard Torrey Hunter come out the other day saying, "What do you do to prepare for Wakefield? I come to the ballpark naked. I don't even take BP." He said, didn't he?
He did. He said he does nothing.
It says everything.
He does nothing.
I do nothing.
No BP, no hitting off a tee. I just go up and take my hacks, and he's one of the guys who hits Tim Wakefield very well.
And happened to get a fastball off him last time, not even a knuckleball, and you saw where that went.
1-2 to Rios. He'll roll it slowly with Lowell deep at third base. Can't do anything with it. And Rios with good speed will reach easily. Couldn't have placed it any better. A 2-out infield hit for Alex Rios.
Can't do anything about that. Hit it like he threw it, I guess. A little chopper right here. The ball just almost dies. Lowell knows right away he's got no chance. This guy could run. They don't really steal a lot, but this is the guy that can run.
2 down. He's at first base. Vernon Wells in the cleanup spot. Look up and down this lineup. He's so used to seeing Vernon Wells with the biggest offensive output on this team. And it's not the case. Doing pretty well. He's got 5 homers and 21 runs batted in, but hitting at just .259 out of the cleanup spot. A guy who's been used over the last couple of years in all kinds of spots in this Blue Jays order, including leading off at times.
The thing about him, I thought, 4 or 5, maybe he got the big contract 3 years ago, and he's been hurt a little bit, this and that, but he put up major numbers 5 or 6 years ago, and it's hard to match what he did.
Rios takes off. Gutierrez's throw is a good one, and they got him. George Gutierrez guns down Alex Rios. It ends the top of the first. The Red Sox coming up. Kobe Ellsbury stands in. First pitch from Brian Tallett is in there for strike 1. Well, Tallett has been starting. This is his 7th start after starting the year in the bullpen due to all the injuries the Jays have had. The record 2-1 with a 4.68 ERA. Is 0-1. Is down and in for ball 1.
You see Tallett there, last time out or against the Yankees, no decision, but one start he gave up 10 earned runs. So you take that start away, he's having a great year.
That was against the Kansas City Royals earlier this year. A 4-inning effort, which he gave up 11 hits and 10 runs. Yeah, that'll hurt the Ernie.
Yes, it will. Big guy, 6'6". Seemed like he'd have a hard time throwing strikes. He's throwing downhill, but a little sidearm to him.
On the ground, sharply hit, and a hop to Scudero, a drop and a throw that is picked at first, and they still get Ellsbury. A lot of things went wrong there for the Jays, but in the end they get it done. Lyle Overbay able to dig it out, and Scudero checking the hand there.
The only reason why he had time on this ball because it was hit so sharply, but bang bang at first base with one hopper. I don't know. Seems like Ellsbury thought he was safe. Might have been.
He thought he beat it.
I don't know.
Marty Foster, the first base umpire.
That changes everything. You know, he gets on base. It's just, here we go.
So 1 down for Dustin Pedroia. Takes ball 1. Pedroia pops it up foul to our right, backing out of play, and it's 1-1. This one ended last inning.
This looked like slow motion, didn't it? I thought they had no chance, and he's out easy. What happened? Did he get slow? Did he get slow from one year to the next? Seriously?
I don't think so. He's got good speed. It was a good throw.
Yeah.
But I'll agree with you. It did take him a long time to get rid of it. He looked up and he still had time, and he got him.
It wasn't even bang bang.
No.
I mean, this is a guy that stole 20 bags. And you think everybody could steal off Wake?
1-1 fouled off, and it's 1-2.
You know, we'll talk more about this Toronto team as we go along this 3-game series, but for the most part, here's a guy, Tallett. He's been in the bullpen all last year. Had 51 shots out of the bullpen last year. Had 6 starts previous to this year. And then he comes out here and pitches like this for 5 out of 6 starts. Go figure.
To short, and this time in the air. Scudero able to gather it for out number 2. Let's check out the Red Sox starting 9. We've seen Ellsbury and Pedroia. David Ortiz is coming up now. The DH with Jason Bay in left, Mike Lowell at third, J.D. Drew in right, Julio Lugo at short, Jeff Bailey at first, and George Kataris does the catching. And as you might imagine, Big Papi getting a good hand as he returns to the Red Sox lineup back home at Fenway.
People wondering whether Papi was going to stay in the 3 slot, which he does.
A lot of talk about that, but you have to think from a confidence standpoint, if he's going to be right, coming back and dropping him somewhere else doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people may disagree, but right now I don't think so. I think this is where he needs to be. The lineup right, left, right has a lot to do with that. You think a left-hander tonight, he has taken him deep before, Tallett, so it's not like a tough left-hander for him, but you know, you could argue that maybe you should put him down. I think at some point you will have that conversation. I think Terry in the press conference said he has thought about it. He's not going to lie, he had thought about it, but he doesn't think so right now. And he's going to be the first one to tell him, that's for sure.
Ortiz after the 2-0 and fouls it off to the left. It's 2-1.
But I think what sticks out more than anything is that game in Anaheim. I mean, it was so ugly. It was so ugly. 0 for 7, 12 left on base. I mean, it's just glaring. And a lot of talk all over baseball. I mean, there just is. I mean, his name comes up. The reason being is he is David Ortiz. I mean, he's the man.
Ball 3, and it's 3-1.
I mean, he's gotten the attention when he's had it going on. You know, and you're playing in this big arena here. This is the way it goes. I mean, you're going to get it. I mean, and he hasn't for the past 5 or 6 years because he's one of the most feared hitters in the league, but things have turned around on him. He's got to get it together.
Takes ball 4 and heads down to first base. A 2-out walk for Big Papi. So 2 away. And Jason Bay coming up. And I think the thing that not only just the power hasn't been there for David Ortiz, but not being able to catch up to a fastball that's the thing that's really concerning.
I mean, it's clear to guys that don't even know baseball. They say, I could talk to people on the street saying, yeah, he can't catch up to a fastball. I mean, you got people who don't know baseball saying he can't catch up to a fastball. I mean, you know, they're paying attention.
The microscope and then some at this point, especially the longer it goes. And you can tell he was really feeling it on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's got to get to him. I don't care who you are, how great you've been. There comes a time when you start to question yourself. I mean, it's just, you do. It does not matter. Whatever happened before is gone, is done.
They tried to hold up and cannot. You know, when you think about Ortiz during the offseason, whether he admits it or not, I read a lot of those clippings, and there were questions about, are his skills eroding? Is he headed in a different direction? He comes in, and it seems like he put a lot of pressure on himself right out of the gate to have a huge season without Manning. To short, Scudero knocks it down, goes to second for the force out. And he has an assist on all 3 outs in the inning. They're scoreless after 1. Second inning back at Fenway Park as Vernon Wells leads it off for the Blue Jays. Wells, Lind, and Rowland to face Tim Wakefield. There were 20 pitches in the first inning. Wells pops it up left side. Mike Lowell. And Fairground puts it away for out number 1. So 1 away, and Adam Lind coming up is another guy who has had a breakout season to begin the year. 322, 7 home runs, and 35 runs batted in. That was a 3rd-round draft choice, 1 point for the Jays.
He's found his way in the lineup every day now. Before he'd be like platoon, half the time. But this year he's going to find his way playing there every day. That young kid Snyder.
Yes.
They were thought that he's going to try to slip in there. He's DHing a little bit, but for the most part, this guy has taken over in left field.
And you got Millar in the mix too, which is hard to forget.
Yeah, you can't forget him ever. He won't let you.
He is the DH for the Jays tonight as Tim Wakefield picks up his 2nd K. Lim strikes out and there's 2 down.
He's got it going on. Wakefield, you see this knuckleball straight down. That's like a curveball. 0-2 waist pitch almost, and he swings at it. He's a good fastball hitter, but you're not a good knuckleball hitter. I don't know who is.
2 down for Scott Rowland.
You see the Jays come in town. How about you come in town for this big series? Everybody's talking about the Jays. And then you got to face Wakefield, right? You're
thinking, up.
Oh my God, it's got to be awful. You're all geared up, nervous, coming to Fenway Park. All right, we're going to show them how we're playing this year. Who's starting? Wakefield. It just sort of knocks you out. It does. I totally think it's an advantage for the Red Sox. I mean, that could, they could come out and probably, hit him well tonight, but nobody feels confident facing Wakefield. I wouldn't think. You're all geared up, and then you get geared up for what?
The 3-0 is outside ball 4. And he walks Scott Rowland on 4 pitches. What does 79 cents get you these days? If you go to Cumberland Farms Chill Zone, it gets you a whole lot of refreshment all summer long. Mix up any drink you can think of, frozen or fountain, for just 79 cents, any size. That's the Chill Zone at Cumberland Farms. A 2-out walk for Scott Rowland. And Lyle Overbay is coming up. Bay at 247, 5 homers, 19 runs batted in. Interesting to see the different approaches the teams will take against Tim Wakefield. It appeared the Angels' approach was to be very aggressive, swinging that first, second pitch almost every time.
Well, we like to see that because I have a feeling that that's not the way to go about him. I think you have to wait him out a little bit.
Get into a better
Don't you? I mean, you've seen Wakefield enough to know that you've got to let him throw pitches. Because it's hard, you know, we take for granted it's not that easy to throw strikes with a knuckleball. It can't be.
I think you're doing him a favor if you swing early.
Right. Everything goes out the window when he pitches.
Now, at nights where he's got it going completely and throwing it for strikes, you're down very quickly. There's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, you got to change lanes a little bit. But until then, you've got to see if he can throw it tonight for a strike, don't you, the first time up?
And that sometimes changes inning to inning. Sometimes he can, the next inning he can't. So that's also a fluid situation. This is into left center field. As back goes Jason Bayer to carry him to the warning track. And he makes the catch. It ends the inning. Inning and a half done, no score. Second inning and a beautiful night from Fenway Park. Breeze blowing out towards left center. It's on to the bottom of the second inning. Mike Lowell, J.D. Drew, and Julio Lugo. As Brian Tallett walked Ortiz with 2 outs. Jason Bay grounded out to end the first. And the Red Sox anticipate the return of Kevin Youkilis tomorrow night, which obviously will change the lineup quite a bit. Think about not having him on this last road trip. And what a difference it makes in the Red Sox lineup to have Youkilis in there. Lowell takes the strike, and it's 2-1.
I mean, they like to have the lineup right, left, right, left. You understand why? Because you go in the bullpen late in the game, you don't want to make it easy on the other manager. But at the same time, you know, where do you put J.D. Drew? I mean, for me, that's
roll to left field. A base hit to get it started here in the bottom of the second inning. Let's check in with Heidi Watney. Heidi.
Don, Jed Lowry took some dry swings today. He also played catch for the first time since having surgery on his wrist 4 weeks ago. He said he is on schedule to return to the team in about 2 to 4 weeks.
It was a productive week for me. I stayed home and worked with Scott Waugh, and you know, like I said, productive week as far as, you know, getting the scar to heal. The range of motion and the strength are coming back, and you know, I kind of wish I could have been with the team for the trip. It was a little lonely here as far as, you know, the clubhouse was empty. but I got a lot of quality work in.
Now with some more injury news, Kevin Youkilis, who's been on the disabled list with a left oblique strain, he made his second rehab start today at Pawtucket as the designated hitter. He played first base yesterday. He went 0 for 6 with a walk in the 2 games played. He will return to the Red Sox tomorrow. Also, Daisuke Matsuzaka will return to the team and pitch on Friday. Justin Masterson will then return to the bullpen. Don?
Okay, Heidi, thank you very much. I think most anticipated that Masterson would be going back to the bullpen, and that went down today. As Terry Francona met with Masterson earlier this afternoon. There's a strike to Drew, and it's 2-1. You hear Jed Lowry talk, and like it must be very tough to be on the DL. You really don't feel like part of the club. Club's on the other coast. You're trying to get better. It's got to be a difficult time.
Oh, totally. And that hasn't happened to me all that often, so I haven't experienced all that much. But just being away from the team more than anything, like he said, there's nobody in the clubhouse, and. He's chomping at the bit because he had such a nice year for the Red Sox last year, unexpectedly, and then to start off the season the way he did. And you need him so badly now, if you think about it. I mean, he's what you're looking for.
Drew fouls it off, and the count hangs at 2-2.
Last thing about JD is sitting. The reason why I said, where do you put JD? JD hit third when he went off last year in June, did he not?
In the absence of David Ortiz.
I mean, so he would be the guy if Ortiz keeps faltering. I mean, that was how you would change it. To keep the right, left, right. That's what my thinking. But hopefully that doesn't happen because Ortiz is going to start to hit. But he would be the guy to hit third.
Here's ball 3, full count.
You just forget about him. You just forget about him. And all of a sudden he hits a bomb and you go, oh, there's JD. He just went deep, right? And he throws a walk out there. And next thing you know, his on base is always 400. I mean,
everything he does pretty quietly.
You just don't even know he's there.
I mean, the guy was the All-Star MVP last year.
Yeah, and you forget that too.
I haven't.
He's just, I tell you, it's just a forgotten guy. Look at it.
Very even keel.
Totally. And he's even hit some line drives all over the place recently.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you were not even keel in your career, that you were never right down the middle, good, bad. You can never really read, what was going on in your mind.
Well, I mean, I think I was fairly consistent. You know what I mean? Always hyper. I mean, not hyper. I was just a very emotional guy.
A lot of pointing, I remember.
Well, that's when I'm going good. I'm not pointing if you're not going good.
Guy walks to first, you didn't point at him?
No. Guy hits a bomb, I'm not pointing at him. Hey, you. Yeah. But, I get into it. Yeah. And so I can understand. I mean, this game is hard to be. There's too much on the line. To me, it was like life and death every time I pitched. That's the way I felt.
I love J.D. Drew, but I think J.D. Drew's pants could be on fire and he would not get excited.
Yes. Yes.
There's ball 4, and he heads down to first base. Second walk allowed by Brian Tallett. Introducing the new $5 Red Sox instant game from the Mass State Lottery. You could win Red Sox season tickets for life and up to $1 million instantly. Get yours today. For details, visit masslottery.com. So 2 on, nobody out. And Julio Lugo coming up. We'll go at 333 with a home run, 4 runs batted in. And one of the big games on the road trip for the Red Sox, a 5-hit performance. 6 for 18 on the trip. Continues to hit well since returning.
Getting some pitches to hit, hitting some line drives. The thing is, he's not really running all that well, though. I've been watching him close. He doesn't seem like the same guy. And I think he's had some, we know that hasn't been feeling all 100%.
Pops it up back at first, sending Overbay. Backpedaling to make the catch. In front of Aaron Hill, the second baseman, as he handles out number 1. So 1 down with Jeff Bailey coming up. If you look at the Blue Jays and all the injuries that they've had to their starting rotation, I guess that's really been the story. Everybody's talking about the offense, but the guys that have filled in have been incredible for the Jays. They haven't missed a beat.
You're telling me that Richmond, the young kid Cecil and Tallett, and who am I missing?
Well, you got Roy in there, but you can't really count him. You expect
young
him.
Kid Ray. It's a young rookie kid we're going to see. Ray, right-handed, throws pretty good. That's 4 guys in this rotation that no one really has ever heard of, right? Nobody has heard of these 4 guys.
Beginning of the year, you figured Halladay every 5 days, and after that,
there he is.
Yes.
That's my man. This guy is the best pitcher in the game. And that's saying a lot because you're talking about Santana in the National League, right? This guy's a horse. I love this guy. I love the way he pitches. I mean, I love him, but he's on the other team. But I'll tell you what.
You can still love him.
I just think this guy's the greatest. I really do. And he's a Hall of Famer to me. He just has to do it for another 8 years.
He's one of the last guys who expects to go all 9 every time he takes the ball.
Well, he was kind of complaining about, maybe this is it for him in Toronto.
Right.
Maybe I've got to go somewhere else because I want to win. And so, boy, did this turn around in a hurry at the start of the season here for him. And
I wonder what happens at the trade deadline if the Blue Jays are not doing as well as they're doing right now.
I don't know.
This has been a surprise.
How do you get rid of this guy? I mean, I don't know what he's making, but he's worth it.
Payroll reasons will be the reason.
Right.
The 1-1 is in there for strike 2, and it's 1-2.
But you hate to talk about opposing pitchers. But I love this game, and I love pitching, and there's nobody better. The way he goes about it, and complete games and the whole thing. He's an old schooler.
2 on, 1 away here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Runners go. Bailey hits it towards left center, in for a base hit. Around from second comes Mike Lowell to score, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Both runners on the move as Bailey drops it into left center field and puts the Red Sox on top.
Boy, he could use this hit. Bailey doesn't hit this ball real hard. You see this? I don't know. It's a high changeup right down the middle, but good pitch to hit. Doesn't really hit it all that hard. Places it perfectly left center field. Drops in. RBI base hit. That'll go a long way for him because he needs that hit. Struggled a little bit on this road trip. For the most part, hit a bomb somewhere. I think he hit a home run in Seattle. But for the most part, struggled.
Chance to play on a more regular basis in the absence of Kevin Youkilis. And really just getting his timing down has been the biggest thing for him as he's at first, Drew at third. 1 out for George Kataris. Kataris checks in at 143 so far in this season.
Tallett doesn't have anything to really put you away with. 89 cheese, little changeup. Breaking ball might be a little tough on left hand, but nothing that's dynamite. Nothing put away stuff. Now, how do you go from being almost a left-handed specialist to being a starting pitcher? You got to be kidding me. Is it that easy?
Well, 51 appearances out of the bullpen for him last year as a specialist. They changed gears on him out of necessity, really, more than anything else.
Right.
I mean, they were down to it as far as starting pitching goes.
The guy hasn't started since he was in Cleveland several years ago when he first came up, when he was a kid. And he's 31. He's been around the block. All of a sudden, he's the starter.
This one fouled off there. Starting pitching earned run average is 3rd in the American League with all that taken into account. 4.00.
Pitching coach done a nice job. Arnsberg. Brad Arnsberg. He's
Brad
been around.
Arnsberg.
Yep, been around. Used to be with the Yankees, I think. He pitched years and years ago.
The 1-2 is outside. It's 2-2. Tallett up to 40 pitches with 1 out here in the 2nd inning. Red Sox have registered the game's first run. Ball 3. Mentioned Tallett with the Cleveland Indians. He was a 2nd-round pick in 2000 by the Indians and to Toronto in 2006 during the offseason.
I don't think he really expected to be a starting pitcher. You wouldn't think. Pressed into duty. I mean, he didn't come to spring training thinking he was going to be a starting pitcher. It's kind of hard to do.
Runner at first goes, fly ball to left. Adam Lind has it lined up. Makes the catch as Drew tags. Throw goes to third, and the Red Sox lead it 2-0. Errant throw to nowhere, and moving up to second base, he is Jeff Bailey. That throw is headed towards third base and well up the line. So Bailey notices, and he takes second base. Lind should be charging error on the throw.
I don't know where he's throwing this ball. I don't know what he's looking at. Is he thinking he's going to throw somebody out at home? Well, that throw was not even close. Errant toss. Base runner moves up. I mean, I really don't know what he was doing out there. Just a bad throw. It is what it is.
They charge him with an error. With 2 down, it gets Bailey into scoring position. There's Jacoby Ellsbury, grounded out shortstop first time up. Well, as you said in the open, said it's been a while since Jacoby has homered, and that's really what you want. You kind of like this stretch he's going on right now.
I really do. Gap to gap. I like when he shoots the ball the other way. Talk about letting the fastball get in on you. I guess, you know, shoot the ball the other way. You start getting pull happy. You're not going to hit 300.
And of course, the 13-game hitting streak coming into tonight. Some great numbers during the 13-gamer. Ball 2 framed by Barajas, and it's 2-1. Red Sox have slipped to 5th in the American League in team batting average at .274 to start the day. The Red Sox lead the American League in on base percentage and in walks. Fly ball foul down the left field line, out of play.
Tallett just doesn't have that hard breaking ball to put away a left-handed hitter. Left-handed hitters have decent swings off him.
Brad Arnsberg done a great job with the pitching staff. Ellsbury lines out to first. Overbay there to make the catch, but Red Sox score a pair and lead it 2-0 after 2. Kevin Millar leads it off as we head to the top half of the third inning. Red Sox on top 2-0. Millar, Barajas, and Scudero to bat here for the Blue Jays. Millar rolls one foul. As Kevin the last 3 seasons has been coming in as a member of the Baltimore Orioles. But stays in the American League East.
I can't help but laugh. He threw out the ball in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He comes back, a Baltimore Oriole throwing out the first pitch in the playoff game.
This one is popped up. The guitarist jumps out in front and puts it away. Immediately following our Red Sox coverage tonight, stay with Nesson for Sports Desk, presented by FW Web. Find FW Web's 27 bass centers at frankweb.com. Andy Brickley will be in studio to talk about where the Bruins go from here, and Catherine will take a look at what a difference a week makes for both the Bruins and Celtics. Seasons are now over. Plus, find out what former Red Sox catcher Mark Sullivan is up to these days. It's all tonight after our Red Sox coverage on Sports Desk. One down in the third. And Rod Barajas stands in. So you would take exception if you were a teammate of Kevin Millar's who was throwing out the first pitch.
What do you think?
Fenway Park.
I mean, what do you think? Kidding me? Oh, just going back. I know some of the guys. I think I'll throw out the first ball. No big deal. Don't worry about it.
It actually did cause quite a stir in Baltimore. I think it surprised Kevin.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you saw that coming, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I mean, think about it. I mean, you can't do that.
He did.
Well, meanwhile, he's not in Baltimore anymore. But he finds his way. What?
He also read the lineup for Fox, the Red Sox lineup.
Oh, I'll tell you what. He just loves Boston. He really does, and he misses it. Obviously.
Rod Barajas with a 1-out single. Second hit off Tim Wakefield.
Wake throwing a lot of strikes with this knuckleball tonight. This one doesn't go down as hard. Although he catches it right before it goes down too far.
So one down, Barajas at first base.
It's a good find for them behind the plate. Guy's got some home run power. See him hit 300. Uh-oh.
There's some power, but it looks like he's out ahead. As Marco Scudero fouls it off. Scudero struck out swinging first time up. Hey, you're talking about the catching situation for the Blue Jays. Of course, Greg Zahn was there last few years. Benji Molina was there briefly as well, but Barajas.
You think about it, you know, everybody's hard time finding catchers, and you got a guy, it's a good receiver, hit you 10, 15 home runs, drive in 50 runs. I mean, that's nice nowadays.
You've worked with some great catchers over the years. Why do you think it is so hard to find good catching now?
Well, for years and years and years, they said it was hard to.
To right field and in for a base hit as J.D. Drew gathers it quickly. Marco Scudero has got a 1-out single. 2 on now for the Jays.
You got Wake here throwing another high knuckleball right here. When it's up like that, it just has a hard time going down. It stays up like that, and he gets a base hit to right field. So, you know, you never know with that knuckleball. If you leave it up there, he's lucky it's just a base hit, because those are the kind that go out of the ballpark. But I don't know why catchers, you know,
This one popped up right side. Pedroia in on the infield. Well, there's 2 down in the inning.
Things happen so fast with Wake, man, you can't even say anything.
Why aren't there more catching prospects right now?
I don't know. Forget about it. It's not important. We're trying to get guys out right now. But you know, you see a guy like Piazza come around and Rodriguez, and they hit so well, and you're thinking, you know, and even Veritek for the most part, he had years where he hit 25 jacks and 85, 90 RBIs. But it's few and far between now. And it happened fast, didn't it? It's like all of a sudden, It's like there's no catching.
You look at a lot of backup catchers across the league, and you see it. You know, a lot of guys, you have your number 1 guy, but after that, it's pretty thin, and there's not a lot of prospects in the minors. So inside, it's 2-0 to Alex Rios. 2 outs and 2 on for the Blue Jays here in the third.
I try to think back at some of the catchers that caught me over the years, and Fisk, because he can hit. Other guy in Chicago, Jody Davis. I don't know if you remember that name. He could hit a little bit. Dating myself. Oakland, we had Steinbach. Remember Ron Hasse? Is that the name?
Sure.
He could hit a little bit. Didn't catch all that well. Called that backdoor slider that went out of the ballpark to Kirk Gibson. So he's a horrible catcher. He's a horrible catcher.
So you didn't shake him off and make your own decision on that one?
I said he came from the dugout. Yeah, it's weird too.
To left field, struck well. Bay back onto the track to make the catch in front of the wall. The Blue Jays strand a pair. Red Sox lead it 2-0. Park 2-0. Red Sox on top as Dustin Pedroia leads it off. Pedroia, Ortiz, and Bay face Brian Tallett. And it's strike one to Pedroia. Lined out shortstop first time up. He was just 1 for 11 in the series against the Mariners.
Little does Tallett know it, but the Red Sox have faced a couple of these guys that throw just like him. You talk about Vargas, and the game before that, not Olson, who started Saturday in Seattle.
Jakabauskas?
Nope, the left-hander. No. Yeah, Olson.
Garrett Olson.
Yes. And they lunch him just to stay in shape. So this is the third guy in a matter of 4 days that features pretty much the same stuff. Fastball, mediocre, little changeup outside corner. Nothing dynamite.
You got to stop with the questions. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. 2-1. It's fouled off. It's 2-2.
You know what I'm getting at, though. I mean,
I do.
They've seen the same guy, same stuff. They should wear left-handers out like this.
And David Ortiz waiting on deck. And Jason Bay here in the bottom of the third. And the Red Sox are done effectively with the West Coast now in the regular season. You'd think that would be a great asset. You don't have to worry about it the rest of the year until you get to the postseason.
You would think. I mean, that's a big deal. Everybody always says, oh, West Coast trips right before the season starts. How many and when do we go?
A couple of years ago, the Red Sox playing the National League West had to go out, what, 4 or 5 times.
Well, I played in the West. And if you played in the West, you're always on a long trip. Always. Every off day, you're flying 6 hours. I'm telling you, it's brutal.
Very few home off days.
Everything's a long ways away. Everything. I played in Chicago. That was beautiful. Everything was an hour.
Pedroia to center, sending Vernon Wells back. And he's there to make the catch. Let's check in with Heidi Watney. Heidi?
Well, Don, as you've said, the Red Sox have faced Brian Tallett as a reliever, but this is his 7th start of the season in place of injured starters for Toronto. And pitching coach Brad Arnsberg told me, except for that one start, he's been phenomenal.
Tremendous sinker, a great feel for the ball. His changeup really is very, very deceptive, so it alters his fastball a lot for him. It complements it, and, you know, he's learning to slide the ball better. He's got a really nice cutter, too. He uses it to both halves of the plate. He'll backdoor the right-handed hitter, and then he'll also go right at their hands. And, you know, they're looking for that 88 to 91 mile an hour two-seamer, and then they get that ball cutting in on him, so it alters them just a little bit.
Now, if you take out that one bad start where he gave up 10 runs, Tallett has a 2.03 ERA in the 5 other starts this season. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. As he gave up 2 runs in the 2nd inning. He's got the first out of the 3rd and is ahead of David Ortiz, quickly 0-2.
Every pitcher wants to take a start out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take that start out. Then my ERA is 3.2. Doesn't work like that.
You got to keep them all in.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I could go back in seasons I have where, ooh, if I could just take those 3 out, I would have had a pretty good year. Nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah, David walked his first time up. Waves at the 1-2 and strikes out. First strikeout for Brian Tallett. There's 2 down.
Tallett finally breaks out a breaking ball. You haven't seen too much of this. It doesn't really break all that much. It's going down, though. But he hasn't really featured it. Nobody's really seen it. I don't think David saw it the first time up. Gets 2 strikes on him. Can't lay off.
So 2 down for Jason Bay. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. 0 for 1.
You got to wonder where the Red Sox would be without this guy. I mean, think about some of the damage he's done. I know we can't help but talk about it. Almost went deep in Seattle last out. Ardsma, off of Ardsma. That game that Ardsma saved, that was not a really good save. There's line drives all over the ballpark and almost went bridge right at the wall. We could have changed that game.
To center field, struck well. Back goes Wells, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Wells gets it back in quickly, but not before Bay stands at second base with a 2-out double.
Just a matter of time before he hits a rocket. Love his swing in this ballpark. You see the fastball. I think that's a fastball away and still hooks it. So it's not a real fast fastball when it's away and you can still hook it. This guy can hit the fastball, as we all know. Rifles it off the wall, 1-hop double.
So 2 down, Bay at second base, and Mike Lowell the batter. As he takes strike 1. Mike with a single his first time up, came around to score the Red Sox first run. Where can you score the best Red Sox gear in town? Check out BostonGlobeStore.com. The Boston Globe Store is everything for the diehard fan. Autographed memorabilia, Red Sox photos, souvenirs, and more. Shop online. Shop anytime. Shop the BostonGlobeStore.com. Lowell takes ball 2, and it's 2-1. The right guy to have up in this situation, hitting at .407 with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Jason Bay at second with 2 down. Line to short. Scudero played it on a hop according to the third base umpire, and he throws across as he gets Lowell to end things in the 3rd. Red Sox on top 2-0. Back at Fenway, and first pitch swinging is Vernon Wells. He grounds to short, but this one thrown away. Off the front of the Red Sox dugout, Wells will reach at first base. As Julio Lugo fired that from deep short.
Everybody played to pull. You see Pedroia on the left-hand side. Got more than enough time to throw him out. Just throws it directly into the dirt. Bailey couldn't really pick it because it was too far out in front of him. You see it land so far out in front, it's hard. That's a tough pick right there. Lucky for Lugo, the screen in front of the dugout holds that, so he has to stay at first.
Does get charged with the error, though. And it's 4 for Lugo. The short left, Bay coming in to make the running catch. Adam Lind retired for the first out here in the 4th inning. Jason Bay get a good jump coming in.
Well, you can't turn away for a second or you're going to miss something right here. Everybody's hacking all of a sudden on first pitch. It almost hits a flare to left.
How's your scoring going? Are you getting this thing down?
I'm not going to be selling any scorecards anytime soon.
No, one down. Wells at first. And Scott rolling.
Yeah, you got enough time to talk about the guy that's at the plate. You know, for instance, a guy like Scott Rowland. You're talking about this guy was an all-star, perennial all-star for many, many years. Philly, St. Louis, some great years he had with St. Louis. Had a falling out there in 2006 when they won the whole thing in St. Louis with Tony La Russa.
Carried right into the postseason.
Yeah, which is a long story. I don't want to get into it. It wasn't pretty. To have a fallout with Tony La Russa is not pretty. Meanwhile, he left. Went to Toronto. Been hurt a lot.
To right field, J.D. Drew. 2 down.
We'll talk about that next time.
Our thoughts to the Rum Dog. Hope he's doing all right tonight and hope he gets back real soon.
Get back real soon.
So 2 down. Vernon Wells at first base and Lyle Overbay coming up. Overbay flied out to the warning track in left field first time up. Olympia Sports is proud to support the pediatric trauma program at Children's Hospital Boston. Come into any Olympia Sports location today and make a donation to help children's world-class doctors pioneer and provide advanced treatments for kids who need your help. Two down here in the top half of the 4th inning. Wells at first. Swing and a miss. Overbay strikes out, and the Jays are gone in the 4th. Red Sox on top 2-0. 2-0. Red Sox on top as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. J.D. Drew leads it off. It's Drew, Lugo, and Bailey to face Brian Tallett. Tallett at 67 pitches. Popped up, foul, and that'll get back and out of play. Well, Hess is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox and the Red Sox on Nesson. During the 2009 Red Sox season, Hess and Hess Express will donate $500 to the Red Sox Foundation for every home run hit by the Red Sox. Hess committed to helping the cause. Drew takes ball 2, and it's 2-1. J.D. walked and scored in the 2nd inning in his first at bat.
Real comfortable left-hander to face. You don't see anybody pulling off.
A little different than the experience that most felt against Randy Johnson in his prime.
Oh, yeah. I think he tried to drop down a little bit. Being as he was a reliever before, he's facing a lot of left-handers. You see it right here.
Falls behind. We're actually now 3-2. So it lifted down the third base line. Scott rolling over, but it's back into the seats. Speaking of powering up, I noticed you had a sandwich in between innings. You're starting to figure this out, how you want to do your regimen now.
This is a chemical imbalance. You know, if I don't eat after about 2 hours, I can't even talk. My tongue doesn't work. So don't put a promo in front of me if I haven't got any food.
Reinforcements have arrived here in the 4th. J.D. Drew strikes out. Gets the bad news from Wally Bell. It's the 2nd strikeout for Tallett.
In and out of the strike zone all night. A lot of pitches. Finally 3-2 pitch. He paints. Good pitch.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones in the house tonight. And behind him is my basketball partner during the winter, Ronnie Perry. I don't think they're together.
Where?
Ronnie Perry's got the Red Sox hat on. This is to center field. Vernon Wells is there, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. There's Ronnie Perry.
You play basketball?
No, I announce basketball. Don't look so shocked that I don't play basketball.
I thought you were going one-on-one with this guy.
I have feelings. We're here at Fenway Park in Boston. Don Orsillo, Dennis Eckersley is working his last game along with Heidi Watney. Bring you Boston Red Sox baseball in high definition and Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound on Nesson. The coordinating producer of Red Sox baseball is Russ Ken. The senior coordinating director is Michael Narachi. Associate producer Jeb Fisher. Production assistant Caven Heath, and Nesson's executive producer is Joel Fell. 2 down here in the 4th inning. Jeff Bailey with a count of 1-0.
Good changeup right there. So I should know that you do basketball games. I should
no,
know
you shouldn't know that.
I didn't know
you shouldn't be so shocked that I might play basketball. This Bob Tomaselli, we're glad to have him back. He was hit in the face a couple of homestands ago and actually fractured his orbital bone. And it is great to have him back in his familiar spot, low first in the Red Sox dugout, where he has been for so many years and does such an outstanding job for us and has done it for Fox. And glad to have you back, Bobby.
It's a dangerous spot.
It is. Strike 3 call. Bailey is gone. So are the Red Sox in the 4th. We played for it. 2-0 Boston. Red Sox on top 2-0 as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. Jonathan Papelbon making his way out to the bullpen. Millar hits it high and deep to left. Jason Bay looking up, and it's gone into the monster seats. Kevin Millar hits his 3rd home run of the year and cuts the Red Sox lead in half.
That's his 4th home run off Wakefield. Things happen fast. You turn away, first pitch. Everybody's hacking now. First pitch. They know he's throwing strikes, and that's the high one. He's trying to just get it over. The ball doesn't dip much. Fence high, as they say, and he goes bridge.
So Kevin Millar homers, and the Jays are on the board. Now Rod Barajas takes ball 1. You're right, though. The approach here for the Jays has changed. Second time through, they're going up there taking their hacks.
They're saying that he's throwing strikes, so maybe the first one's the best one, because he has been around the plate quickly all night.
Barajas pops it up. Short left, Lugo out. Bay in, and Bay calls him off to make the catch. Fans, a limited number of Red Sox destination packages are still available for the great interleague matchup of the New York Mets at Fenway Park during Memorial Day weekend. Packages include great tickets to 3 games, a VIP tour of Fenway, private meet and greet with a current Red Sox player. Visit redsox.com/Red Sox destinations or call 617-226-6400 for more details. One down in the inning for Marco Scutaro.
It really makes you pay attention, though, the way this game's going. Everything is happening so quickly.
To right field, J.D. Drew over a step or 2. And there's 2 down in the 5th.
I mean, I don't understand how to even analyze this game. I mean, it's just, you throw it up there, and then you hit it. And it's like, what do you say? I mean, it's like, that's a knuckleball and that's a fly ball. That's a knuckleball, that's a fly ball. Because he gets a lot of fly balls,
right.
Does he not?
He does.
Does he set people up? I don't know. It's like, how do you do this? I mean, this is great because the game goes quickly and the Red Sox win.
You're doing it.
But I don't know what I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, so let's go back to another story and talk about something, because we haven't got much time. We got 2 outs, and he's hacking next pitch.
All right, so hold that thought.
Yeah, I don't want to. If I start something, I'm done.
Get it in really quick now, because it's 0-2.
Now is not a good time to talk about anything. These guys laughing about, it's just another ball game when you face Wakefield. It's like we talked earlier about, they come in this ballpark saying, here we are, the Toronto Blue Jays. We got a great team. Here we come. And here's Wake.
To
waiting
third,
for you.
Low on the backhand. The throw is low, but dug out by Bailey. Leadoff home run by Kevin Millar gets the Jays on the board. It's 2-1 Boston. 2-1 Red Sox on top. Bottom of the 5th inning. George Kottaras. A swing and a miss at Brian Tallett, who's now thrown 78 pitches. And has retired the last 4 batters in a row. Fresh off his first 1-2-3 inning of his outing. Kottaras rips this to right, down the line, and foul. A sacrifice fly, first time up for Kottaras. Gives this one a ride, but foul.
Boy, his eyes got big on that one. High fastball, man. He jumped on that ball.
Kottaras, who had 22 home runs a year ago, still looking for his first of 2009 in a Red Sox uniform. Kottaras, Ellsbury, and then Pedroia to bat in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Tallett comes back to strike him out. 1 down. It's to the birthday girl and Heidi Watney today. Happy birthday, Heidi.
Oh, well, thank you, Don. You know, today it's also exactly 1 year since John Lester threw a no-hitter here at Fenway Park. He told me even though it's been an entire year he's had to reflect on it, it still hasn't really sunk in, but he says he has grown as a pitcher.
I think I'm a better, more round player. I think I believe in myself a little bit more than I did at that time. I think it just, I've grown up. You know, it's a year under your belt. You learn a lot of different things about the game and about yourself as a pitcher, and you just learn how to bring them into each start and just try to carry them over from start to start. And work ethic is a big thing, and just try to carry that over as well.
Now, Lester also talked about the Sox rotation struggling a bit lately. He said, kind of like hitters, when things aren't going well, it becomes a mental game. It gets in your head, and then you start to overthink and overanalyze everything. He says hitters, or pitchers, especially him, are best when he just goes out there and doesn't even think. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. There's Jacoby Ellsbury coming up, and that, we talk about it a lot with John Lester. It does seem like at times he is overthinking things, especially when things are going bad.
You look back to that game last year, that sort of turned the corner for him. He just went off after that. That was, May 19th?
And center field for Ellsbury and the base hit.
And the hitting streak moves on.
Jacoby Ellsbury extends it to 14 games with a 1-out single here in the 5th. And it's part of our league leaders, which are brought to you by Olympia Sports. And hitting streaks. Ellsbury now at 14. It's tops in the majors at the moment. Ichiro with 12. And out Ellsbury at first base for Dustin Pedroia.
Ellsbury not trying to do too much. You think about that single to center field. Ball got in on him a little bit. That's not a bad thing. And dunks the ball into center field. So you saw him trying to bunt his way on.
Back to Lester in the rotation just for a second, but I mean the old adage, don't think, just throw, seems to go a long way.
It does, and you think about it, the kind of stuff that he's had and the way he pitched last year, like we talked about after the no-hitter, it's like, how could he possibly have the numbers that he has this year? To me, it's shocking, isn't it? When you look at what he's done this year, he's thrown the ball good. I mean, he'll be the first to say that, but he's had enough of that throwing the ball good stuff. He wants to get, he wants a W, and he wants to put something together. He's given up 10 jacks, 10 home runs. That's hurt him. A lot of big innings. He just can't stop the bleeding kind of innings. So, and he is snake bit a little bit. I've been there. You throw the ball good, you don't get any results. You look up there and your numbers are brutal. How could he have a 6-and-something ERA? It's beyond me. I'm sure it's gotten to him. That's why you saw that press conference with him, or that after the game, where he just started telling, "That's it. I've had enough." He almost was like that TiVo guy with Florida, telling him, "It's not going to happen again. We're going to work as hard as we can, and we're never going to lose again." That's the way, maybe. Isn't that how you talk? I'm going to work harder than anybody that pitched ever in this game, and I believe him.
To right field, hangs up long enough for Rios to make the catch for the second out. You could tell the level of frustration was in a different area this last time for Lester after this last outing. Well, here's a big spot as Ortiz has a chance here again. He's had 2 at-bats tonight. Walked in the first inning, struck out in the 3rd inning. And certainly getting the support from Red Sox Nation at home here at Fenway Park all night.
Wouldn't you love to see him just hit a home run and get it over with?
It'd be good.
I mean, this enough already. Not that this is the spot, you know, but just let's get through it. I mean, I think it gets to you after a while. There's no doubt about it. If you haven't got a home run, I mean, it gets to you.
Especially if
because he's hit some balls. He's hit some balls that could have been gone, you know, at the right time. Different ballpark, whatever. He's hit some balls on the screws. I mean, you accidentally hit a bomb, don't you? Accidentally. I hit a bomb when I was, you know, somebody ran in my bat a couple times.
How many bombs do you have?
Just, I don't want to get into that, but I went bridge a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
A couple street balls in Wrigley Field. So it happens.
Ortiz has walked, struck out as he takes ball 1.
But I think that has a lot to do with it. That home run. Once you get off the snide, sort of.
One ball, 1 strike to Ortiz. Chops it into the shift. Right side, Hill. On to first to end the inning. We played 5 from Fenway. It is 2-1 Red Sox. Sixth inning back at Fenway Park. Alex Rios leading it off for the Toronto Blue Jays. Rios, Wells, and Lynn. Rios 1 for 2 as he reached on an infield hit in the first and then flied out to the warning track in the 3rd inning. We'd like to welcome our friends who are watching the Red Sox Blue Jays series on TSN2 across Canada. All of us here at the Red Sox in Nesson are happy to have you aboard for this series from Fenway. And special happy birthday to Andrew Tinning, the Red Sox fan from Toronto. 1-2 is outside. It's 2-2. Tim Wakefield working into the 6th inning. The only blemish, the leadoff home run by Kevin Millar in the 5th inning.
You think about the home run ball. You saw a solo by Millar tonight, and then the 2 home runs in Anaheim. But the long ball hurt Wake for the most part over the course of his career. If he keeps the ball in the ballpark for the most part, he has a good game. Although at the same time, you get away with giving him a couple solos here and there. But it's hard to put 3-4 hits together off Wake. Square things up, as they say.
Home run by Millar, the 4th off Tim Wakefield this season. This is a pop-up left side. Mike Lowell. 1 down. Stay tuned with us immediately following the game tonight for WB Mason's extra innings. You'll see the live post-game press conference of Terry Francona and Tim Wakefield, all part of our complete reaction from the Sox clubhouse. Plus, find out about Kevin Youkilis's rehab start today in Pawtucket. It's all coming up right after the game with TC, Jim, and Heidi. Another pop-up, right side of the infield. Vernon Wells is now back to second. Pedroia puts it away. 2 up, 2 down.
Watch opposing teams hit off of Wake, and it's almost like they don't even get upset. Nobody gets upset if they don't get a hit, because it's like, well, what do you expect? What are you going to do?
Different expression.
Totally. They're not frustrated. They just, well, whatever. It's just sort of an easy game to give into. I remember we used to face Charlie Huff, and I'd go crazy sitting in the dugout. I said, watch this guy. He's just going to stick it to us tonight, and it's going to be easy, and it makes me sick because I used to watch him, not the hitter. I would just look at him, and I'd watch him throw, and I'd say, this is ridiculous. I'm sweating bullets out here when I pitch, and they're not even
flipping it up there.
Yeah, look at this.
Pedroia with a bobble. The reaction is still in time. Stayed with it, got Lind. It's a 1-2-3 6th and a 2-1 Red Sox lead. Two to 1 Red Sox on top of the Blue Jays. Jason Bay leading it off, and he hits one high in the air to left field. Adam Lind cruising over, as is Wells. It is Lind who makes the catch.
Create your own Red Sox collectible using your favorite photos at PhotoStoreOnRedSox.com. It's easy. Just upload your photo, choose from prints, mugs, magnets, and more. Place your order, and you're done. In 3 easy steps, you can make your own very own Red Sox memory. Go to RedSox.com today. Collectible. That's how you say it. Collectible.
We were gone a little while. You didn't practice while we were away.
I'm going to take those home with me.
One down for Mike Lowell. Singled in the second, grounded out in the third. Gets his third look at Brian Tallett. reaching out, sending it down the right field line. Foul. That's another good outing for Brian Tallett here so far tonight. Just the 2 runs back in the second inning.
I took the words out of my mouth. That second inning was it. 31 pitches, and he's done a nice job. You see what he's done for the most part, just fastball, changeup, occasional breaking ball, but you know, inside, outside, mixes it up, makes it look pretty easy.
Seems like the Red Sox have faced a lot of guys like that lately. This last road trip.
They've had some pitches to hit. You see some pop up here. You saw Bay had a pitch to hit just before Lowell.
The Blue Jays arrive with a 3.5 game lead atop the American League East. I don't care what magazine you subscribe to prior to the season as far as the predictions go, but I'm pretty sure across the board nobody had this as far as mid-May and what was expected of this division.
Yeah, and they're missing guys, you know, from their rotation. I don't know who's coming back when. You talk about McGowan has a good arm. I don't think Markham's coming back, and then Jesse Litch, right? He's a decent little right-hander that they had last year. So, you know, the thing about it is if they keep this going until when? And so they think All-Star break. I mean, they can add somebody, you know, a starting pitcher. I mean, because don't tell me that you can get by with these 4 starting pitchers we never heard of. One being this guy on the mound here. Not to take anything away from him. I mean, he's pitched a good ball game tonight, but you don't expect him to be a 15-game winner or whatever.
Strike 3 call. Lowell doesn't like it as Wally Bell rings him up. 5 Ks for Tallett, 2 down. Let's see where this pitch was.
He's been painting for the most part with that fastball. You see everything away, and he puts him away with a fastball in, which was a ball. He's got something to complain about. But see, he picked his spot to come in there after everything away. Fastballs, changeups, fastball in, and when you're going good, the umpire gives you that pitch.
2 down, 4 in a row, retired by Tallett as J.D. Drew takes ball 1.
It goes to show you don't have to have major gas or anything electric, but if you hit the corners and change speeds a little bit, you can win.
Pitch number 100 of the night for Tallett. It's in there for strike 1.
Wally Bell back there, he can ring you up too. I mean, he's a little happy back there sometimes with that strike zone. But you see, 63%. I know that. See, 63 out of 100.
You're all over it.
I'm all over that.
You're always good for one new expression broadcast. Wally Bell is happy back there.
He gets a little happy. I love happy umpires. Ringing everybody up.
On the ground up the middle. Hill will range. Off balance throw that gets here in time to get Drew. Red Sox down in order in the 6th. On to the 7th. It's 2-1 Boston.
Here's Scott.
It's good time. 2-1 Red Sox on top of the Blue Jays. Scott Rowland cranks one foul. Rowland, Overbay, and Millar to bat here in the top of the 7th inning. Off the end of the bat, popped up, foul ground. Kataris makes the catch. Jeff Bailey was coming for it. Tim Wakefield coming for it, but it's Kataris who makes the grab. And Rowland is the first out of the 7th inning.
That ball wasn't in the air long enough, if you think about it. It's a, it's a pop-up, but for the catcher to get there, he didn't have much time. And he sort of stabs his knee into the ground like a dart almost, and I think he almost hurt himself there. That ball's in the air a little longer. It's an easy play for the first baseman.
So Kataris makes the catch on Rowland. One down. Lyle Overbay, the batter.
Your fear in this game is that you're going to, blink, and the next pitch is going to be a bomb, and this game's tied. I don't mean to be negative, but I mean, that's how quick stuff is happening. You can't even set this up.
Jason Frazier is up in the pen now for the Jays, as Brian Tallett has thrown 102 pitches through 6 innings. Another pop-up, and it's left side. Julio Lugo makes the catch, 2 down, and it's time for a game break. And Tom Caron, TC. All right, TC. Back here at Fenway Park, one of the better looks from inside the monster. There's a 2-1 Red Sox lead here with 2 outs in the top half of the 7th inning. You hear people talking about MVP and everything else. You cannot count out A-Rod. I don't care if he missed, a month plus. I mean, that guy is going to be right back in the conversation again.
Man, and they're starting to play well, too. What the timing of all this.
On the ground to third base. Mike Lowell gathers and throws. It's a 1-2-3 7th inning for Tim Wakefield. 7th inning stretch, 2-1 Boston. Time for a Sports Desk update with Cole Wright. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 10th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout, a special seating section at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Ryan Tallett gone after 6 innings and 102 pitches, just the 2 runs he gave up back in the 2nd inning. As this call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. Jason Frazier first out of the pen for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's allowed just 1 run in his last 16 appearances.
Ooh, he's having a nice year for them.
4-0 record. Left-handed batters are hitting at .050 against him. They're just 1 for 20 on the season. But he starts with a right-handed hitter in Julio Lugo. He was 0 for 2. He's popped out to first and lined out to center.
Fastball, curveball. Or the sloppy little whatever that was. I don't know if that's a curveball or a slider, but fairly straight. But he throws pretty hard for a little guy.
Allowed his first run of the season after 11 appearances and 11 innings. Longest stretch scoreless for a Jays reliever this season. On the ground to short, Marco Scudero throws out his counterpart for the first out of the bottom of the 7th. The Jays, who have spent part of the year without B.J. Ryan, for the moment losing his closing spot, returning for the Jays this year. This guy was one of the premier closers when things were going good.
He was, and he's just sort of lost it a little bit. You know, I think as you'll see him pitch, he's lost his fastball a little bit, a couple miles on that. But Downs has gotten the job. You know, he had a good year last year. Him and the guy next to him, I think, is Carlson, 2 left-handers. Like I said, they got 3 left-handers in the bullpen. You don't see that a lot.
Downs 5 for 5 in save opportunities.
That's not to say that B.J. Ryan won't get that job back. But at the same time, if Downs is lights out, it's hard to take it away from him.
Jeff Bailey 1 for 2 tonight, a single in the 2nd inning. He struck out in the 4th. Blue Jays relievers with a 3.55 earned run average. That's 4th in the American League. Bailey down 1-2.
You know, it's not surprising that their pitching has done well. I mean, last year they're coming off leading the league in ERA. But the surprising part is how they're doing with pitchers that weren't there last year.
Remember, A.J. Burnett was a big part of their starting rotation last year.
Right. And you just wonder, can they keep doing this? I mean, 5, 6 starts into this, you don't want to get carried away. These young kids come up, they make their mark. Haven't seen them before. You know, see it, run it as far as you can play it.
Strikes out Bailey, and there's 2 down in the 7th inning.
See, he slips this piece of cheese right by him right there. Ball got on him in a hurry. Sneaky cheese. That's what that is. They say that a lot, though. People say that a lot. Sneaky, sneaky. They drop it on a lot of guys. He's sneaky. Like he short arms it a little bit.
They don't always connect sneaky with cheese, though.
No, right. Well, how can you have sneaky salad? We don't want to get into this. We'll save it. Well, I'm going to be here a while. We don't want to get into this.
George Kataris takes ball 1.
But he's sneaky. Look at 95. This is a little guy out there who can bring it.
And for Blue Jays pitching, it's 7 in a row retired. Nice finish for Brian Tallett. Gave up just the 2 runs in his 6 innings. Striking, it's 1-1 to Kataris.
And they say easy cheese, right? Because it doesn't look like it's effortless. A lot of guys. I didn't have easy cheese.
You look like you were working hard.
Oh, I was working hard. Wake doesn't have easy cheese.
Well, his cheese is 95. That's where he's been since coming in.
Yeah, that's nice. He's got it going on this year.
Frazier one time was used as the closer. He does have 1 save this season.
He saved 17 games about 3-4 years ago.
In the air to short left, Adam Lind. makes the catch. It ends the 7th inning. We head for the 8th. Red Sox holding on to a 2-1 lead. Tim Wakefield, 80 pitches deep through the first 7. Had a very quick 7th inning on 7 pitches. Got Roland, Overbay, and Millar. Rod Barajas leads it off in the 8th. Action in the Red Sox pen as Wakefield starts this inning. Daniel Bard looking to make his Fenway Park debut, and Ramon Ramirez. Nick, did you get a chance to see Daniel Bard on
Speaking of easy cheese, yeah. Daniel Bard, I love this kid. This guy's got an arm for him. Gets a little excited. I like that too. It's the big leagues, man. You want to get excited. You get excited, you could throw 100, but it's hard to control 100. That's the problem. But he's got a good curveball. I think if anything, you get excited, you can't get your curveball over, and your fastball's high. But boy, he's got the stuff. They're not kidding. And I'm excited to see him pitch. Not necessarily tonight because you want things to go smoothly, but what a future this kid's got.
Wakefield falling behind 3-1. And there is ball 4.
I got to have that.
First pitch that Wakefield wanted on the outside corner. And just the second base on balls that he has given up tonight. Well, tomorrow night at 6, live from Yawkey Way, it's Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe's Red Sox Game Day Live. You get a preview of Game 2 of the series as Brad Penny tries to continue his streak of solid starts for the Red Sox. Plus, Red Sox alum and current Blue Jay Kevin Millar will be live on Headsets. Imagine that. And the Red Sox will get their first look at Blue Jays pitching prospect Brett Cecil. That's all tomorrow night at 6 on NESN. And the pinch runner at first base for Rod Barajas. John McDonald pinch runs as the bunt bid dropped foul down the third base line by Scudero.
He's bunting at that ball like he's trying to drag the thing or something. I understand. Obviously, I don't think the bunt was on. I think he's doing it on his own.
Big check as McDonald gets back to the bag. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. Swinging away now and popping it up. Kataris by the stands to make the catch. With a couple of fine plays. This time a fan kind of leaning over. Added to the fun for George Kottaras, but he gets over to make the grab. One out. Big one.
Once again, he hasn't got that much time to get there. It's a pop-up, but not extremely high. Does have enough time just to get there.
Look back at the fan like, what are you doing? I'm trying to get the ball. One out. McDonald still at first base as Aaron Hill stands in 0 for 3. No one drops in for strike one. Wakefield with 3 strikeouts in the game. He has walked 2 and given up a total of 4 hits. Off of Kottaras, McDonald will take second base. One of the few that have kind of clunked off Kottaras.
You think about this game, and he's thrown nothing but knuckleballs. You've seen a few fastballs, and that's it. But, you know, he hasn't had to have a tough. The catching has not been tough because he hasn't had to catch everything clean because there's nobody been on base for the most part. That's crucial right there. Tying run at second base.
Fastball charged to Kottaras. A 1-1 misses for ball 2.
But you think about this game, he's got 90 pitches. I bet you he's thrown 80 knuckleballs. Because, you know, you see that curveball that, you know, he mixes it in here and there. But for the most part, he hasn't had to.
Popped up, shallow right. Back goes Pedroia onto the grass, and it drops. Miscommunication there. Bailey was there, Pedroia was there, and it drops in.
Pedroia says his bad because normally he takes over everything. He takes charge everything, and just one of those things. They both look at each other, and the ball drops. You see it right here. This is just ridiculous. This ball's got to be caught, obviously, and he just looks at him, and I guess he thought he was going to get it. And Pedroia knows that he's the guy. He's the one that should take charge.
Yeah, he was looking for Bailey the entire time. It's a 2-on now, and Alex Rios.
You just hope that doesn't come back to haunt him.
Well, it would have been 2 outs. Now there's only 1. Runners at first and second. Alex Rios is 1 for 3, an infield hit back in the first. Double-barreled action in the pen. Wakefield at 93 pitches. A couple men on here in the 8th. As Rios fouls it off, he's the first time in the game the Blue Jays have had more than 1 base runner in an inning.
He's got these big swings. You see a 2-0 knuckleball right there. He tries to pull that thing. Not that he can't, but just a big swing. He's nothing but pop-ups. Like, I mean, I could catch those pop-ups. So could you. Because, you know, you play hoops.
The 2-1 in the air to left field as Bay comes in a few steps. And he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So a big out there to get Rios. And there's 2 away.
You think about some of these outs tonight. Seriously. You don't need great athletes to catch these balls tonight. These have been some of the easiest fly balls in the history of the game. Count them up. There's a lot of them.
I'm counting them.
There's so
I'm
many.
up to 14.
Oh.
You got count them again. 1, 2.
A lot.
15.
It's 5 innings worth of fly balls out of 8. Add a couple punch outs.
McDonald at second, Hill at first, 2 down as Vernon Wells pops up another. The pop-up theme continues, and Bay is there to make the catch. Wakefield out of the jam in the 8th. Red Sox holding on to a 2-1 lead. For years, contractors have trusted the FW Webb Company for plumbing, heating, and cooling products. Now homeowners can visit one of their 27 Frank Webb Bath Center showrooms. Product knowledge and friendly guidance make both sides of Webb a home run. And John Farrell going over the outing of Tim Wakefield, George Kataris. They're looking forward to the next inning as they get ready for the ninth. The Red Sox coming to bat here in the eighth.
Probably going over the next three hitters are coming up next inning.
Raul Chavez into the game now. As Rod Barras was run for, Ellsbury trying to bunt his way on, pops it up foul. New pitcher is DJ Ryan, third of the night for the Blue Jays. Not the closer at the moment. Some tough numbers early. And had a couple of blown saves right out of the gate. Was placed on the DL on the 23rd of April with a sore left trapezius muscle. Some rehab work and activated on May the 15th, so just 4 days ago.
So he's not throwing the ball quite as hard as he used to. He's still got a pretty good little breaking ball. I'd like to see somebody get on base because he never stops when he comes to the set. He never sets. And I've always been surprised why they never call a balk on him. I'd love to see somebody get on base so we can see if he does stop.
I think it has happened on occasion, not a lot, but there are guys who will call that. Right, it happened against the Red Sox.
You'll see he goes through the stretch even with nobody on, and he doesn't have to pause, but he does the same thing when there's somebody on.
Ellsbury.
He's a very anxious pitcher. Doesn't take long to throw it, that's for sure.
Papelbon getting ready in the pen.
He's just the opposite, Papelbon.
And Wolf on the other side for the Jays. Ellsbury slaps it foul. And DJ Ryan, a guy who's used to putting up big save numbers. 36 saves with the Orioles in his final year of 05. The next year, in his first year in Toronto, he had 38 saves. Ellsbury to right field, a base hit. Over his Rios to cut it off. Ellsbury heading for two, and he will get to second base with a leadoff double to open up the bottom of the eighth.
Boy, this kid is hot, boy. He's got it going on. Extended his hitting streak earlier on a base hit to center field. And you see right here, he gets a fastball, inner half. Maybe it wasn't fastball. It looks like a breaking ball. Turns on it. That's a bullet down the right field line right here. You know it's too easy with Ellsbury running. Rios has got a good arm right there. Late.
So a big leadoff double to begin the bottom of the eighth inning. As Dustin Pedroia 0 for 3 tonight. 3 lineouts. He's hit the ball relatively hard, but just at people. Bunt bid, and it's up by his eyes.
You see right here, watch this. I mean, he never, he's trying to get this ball over, but this ball is not even close. He's lucky this ball doesn't tick off the bat and go in his face. He's trying to push that ball to first base. He's doing that on his own too.
For a ball, 1-1.
And you notice what I said about Ryan? He doesn't stop. I'm surprised they don't call that. I mean, he's very anxious. He's ready to throw right now. Let's go. Boom. Watch. He will not stop. If you want to call that a pause, I mean, that's pretty quick.
This one's slap foul, and it's 1-2. More action in the Jays pen as Brandon League is now up. Hard throwing right-hander. Ellsbury headed to third. The throw is in time. They got him. Chavez throws him out. Even with the right-handed batter blocking, they're able to gun down Ellsbury, and DeMarlo Hale didn't think so as he gets into it. The crew chief, John Hirschbeck.
That throw beat him so bad right there. He didn't get a real good jump, and the catcher got a great ball to throw. throw right there. He may
Wow.
have not tagged him, but the throw beat him by so much. You see, he touches his knee barely, but did his foot get in?
On the ground now, and by the dive of Hill into center field. So the caught stealing is big. But Pedroia aboard with one out now in the 8th.
Yeah, he just didn't get the kind of jump that he wanted. He sort of hesitated, then took off. Ball beat him badly. Even though he may have not tagged him, the ball just beat him too badly. The umpire is going to call you out in the vicinity. He might have got his knee a little late. Meanwhile, it's not a smart play, because when you're out, it's not a smart play. This would be a good time for Big Papi to go yard.
Ortiz takes strike one.
Ortiz took him deep walk-off Johnson a few years ago when he was with Baltimore, if you recall.
Straightaway center
Sunday.
field.
Yes.
Straightaway center.
And you made a great call.
This place will explode if he does it here. As it jumps in for a ball. This crowd has been supporting David Ortiz all night long. They now stand as one here at Fenway Park, trying to root him through what has been the most miserable beginning to any season that Big Papi's ever had.
This is a great thing. You know, standing up like this, and this is big. They love this guy for good reason. Don't they? I mean, they love this guy. How can you not?
The fans want it for David Ortiz. This team has been on his shoulders for a long time at different times in his stay as a Red Sox. The 1-1 is ball 2, 2-1.
They give him fastball a hit right here. Put a good swing on it.
Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2.
Looking fastball gets it, but the problem is it's a ball. And it's in a good spot. I mean, this is, you know, he's thinking he's going to get a pitch to hit. He gets the fastball he's looking for, but it's out of the zone. And sort of, he can't get to that. I don't care if he's going good or not.
And he strikes out waving at that pitch. For the second time tonight, it's an 0 for 3 for the walk in his return to the Red Sox lineup. 2 down in the 8th.
It's just not happening for him. High fastball, he swings through, and then he gets a breaking ball, not even close. And he's way off balance, and it's just not pretty right now for David.
So 2 down. Pedroia at first and Jason Day, who just won at bat against B.J. Ryan. He's 0 for 1 in his career. Grab the outside corner for strike one. Jason with a hit back in the 3rd inning, a double. Red Sox have 6 hits in the game. Bay to center field. Vernon Wells there to make the catch shy of the track that ends the inning. A 1-run lead heading to the 9th inning, as Jonathan Papelbon will be on trying to finish it off in what has been a great game. Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network. Your New England Dodge dealers. Bermuda Tourism. Toyota's official website for deals via Toyota.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Back at Fenway Park, Red Sox on top 2-1 over the Toronto Blue Jays, and Jonathan Papelbon into the game. His 17th game of the year, a 1.06 earned run average. 10 for 10 in save opportunities as Adam Lynn leads it off for the Jays. Swing and a miss.
Boy, that looks like 1,000 miles an hour after all the night with the knuckleball all night. This guy's a good fastball hitter too now.
8 innings of the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. He gave up just 1 run tonight. As Lynn takes strike 2. Dating back to last year, Papelbon has converted each of the last 15 save opportunities. And he strikes out Lynn to start off the 9th.
You swing at that ball up there, you have no chance. He swung at 2 balls way out of the strike zone with 1 paintball in between. Nobody's going to hit that. And that's pretty much what Pap does all year long. High fastballs. You try to catch up, you're in trouble.
3 pitches, 1 out. Scott Rowland now. More strikes.
And Paps, I tell you, he is something else with that fastball. He could spot it. He could throw it as hard as he can out of the zone. I mean, all he needs is that fastball when he's going good. He ain't nothing else.
Fouled off as Rowland gets a piece of the 95, and it's 0-2.
I mean, what do you do as a hitter, man? 0-2. The guy is bringing it. Ready, get set, swing.
Five pitches, 5 strikes. All fastballs. He's ahead here 0-2.
Fastball in as hard as you can.
And Rowland grounds it right side. Pedroia's got it. 2 down in the 9th.
Rowland, he's just trying to make contact for the most part. 0-2. He's glad he hit it.
Two down on 6 pitches for Papelbon and Lyle Overbay. He was 2 for 10 in his career against Papelbon. And 0 for 3 in the game tonight. Strike 1. Nothing but strikes from Papelbon.
Why would you even practice a forkball tonight? You don't need any practice with that forkball. Practice on the sidelines with that thing. There it is. A little practice for ball 1.
First ball he has thrown since coming in.
Back to the fastball.
They want it away. And it's lifted foul, 1-2.
That ball's on you. I mean, that swing is late. It's coming out of his hand, as they say. I think it's coming out of his hand good.
Blue Jays are down to their last strike. Millar waits on deck. As Papelbon glares in. The 1-2 pitch. Up and in. And it's 2-2 as Overbay jumps back out of the way.
You just have to make sure there that ball's in, and he did. He made sure that ball is inside.
In the dirt, Overbay doesn't chase, and it's a full count.
Another split finger right there. Just got to dot the outside corner right here with a 94, 95 and take it to the house.
Tatar setting up inside the 3-2. On the ground to first base. Bailey's got it. He'll take it himself, and the Red Sox win. Pitchers duel tonight from Fenway Park, and Tim Wakefield's a winner as Jonathan Papelbon, the 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Red Sox take game one of this three-game series against the American League East leading Toronto Blue Jays.